Hey everyone, it's Robbie here. I've been in Developer Lockdown all week. It's now Friday, and I am so thrilled to have wonderful news for you. Of course, you know, if you've been following my updates and the chat, that I was able to accomplish this NEMS Linux 1.8 running on a Raspberry Pi 5 as of yesterday, so Thursday. We're 4 days into Developer Lockdown number 3 in 2026. And today has been just an unbelievable development session, because now that I'm up and running with a working functional version of NEMS Linux 1.8, that means I can now start building new programs, new application layers, new functionality into that system that you're going to benefit from when I release this at the end of the developer lockdown. As you know, I've extended the developer lockdown an extra additional week because I felt like, hey, I've been working on this long enough. It's a huge undertaking for a single developer working on a project of this scale, and also working full time at the same time to, because this is not my day job. I'd like it to be my day job, so throw $10,000 into the tip jar if you like, if you have it. But I've come to grips with the fact that this is something that I do on the side. Maybe that'll change one day, but it hasn't changed yet. So for now, it's a challenge. And okay, enough. I'm going to shut up and just show you what I've achieved today, because this is mind-bendingly exciting. It's happened. We're there. Configuration user manager. Okay, before I go there though, look at this. Okay, see this new button up here, log out Robbie F2. I'm going to log out, and now I'm logged out, and it's prompting me to log in again. So you know how NEMS Linux has in the past used HT password, and what that means is that the Apache server serves up a question for to log in. So if I open something that requires a password, if I hadn't already authenticated, it would prompt me for a username and password, and that's powered by Apache. Not ideal. It means sharing passwords amongst your sysadmins. Don't like that in an enterprise environment. We don't like that in a compliant department or organization. So that's what I've set out to change with NEMS Linux 1.8, and whew, it's been a doozy. But as I said, user manager. When I click on that, it's going to prompt me to log in. Notice that it's an actual login. It's not asking me for HT password. But the real test here is, so I'm currently logged out because I clicked on logout, is to see what happens when I implement this into some of those systems that require login, that had previously required a login through the Apache process. So if I go System Power Controller, this is the first one that I've implemented this in. It's the kind of proof of concept, the test one, and just to make sure that everything works. So now if I log into Power Controller, or click on Power Controller, normally it would prompt me and then I would be able to reboot. But let's just try this. I'm going to go Robbie F2, and then my password. That's just my dev user. I'm going to hit login, and now I'm logged in, and I can see my Power Controller. You can see that the logout button is now back. So now if I go back to the home screen and then go back into Power Controller, of course it works just like you would expect. But holy cow, because understand, so NEMS Linux is an amalgamation of hundreds of wonderful open source products. I've brought it all together, and I've worked so hard to unify it, to try to make it feel like a connected, sensical system where I've done my best to make the integration seamless. But the challenge is that everything has its own back end, right? So this is a bigger deal than it's taken years to develop. So now that I'm logged in, I am logged in as the super user, so the super admin. So I can go into user manager now. It's not beautiful yet, so don't judge me, but and I got to work on the CSS, but it is here. So let's say I want it, and there's my user, change the password, blah, blah, blah. If I want to create a new user, I'm going to just create one called test user and give it a password. And now I'm going to set the role of that user. So you can say whether this is an admin, an operator, a reporter, or just a viewer, somebody who can just access like viewing the system and stuff like that. But let's say this person is going to be an operator. So now I'm going to create that account. Oh, needs a stronger password. That's clever, Robbie. And now create. So now it's added that user. I've got test user here. Again, I got to do the CSS, but I'm going to add other features here. So now if I go into power control, oh, I'm still logged in as Robbie F2. I'm going to log out. And now I'm going to log in as that new test user. So here's the moment of truth. Because this user was just created by the super user, so this is where you'll be able to assign new user accounts to your sysadmins, the people that work within your IT department. You can give viewer access to the C-suite, those kinds of things, so that they can see the tactical overview. I'm going to hit login. And there we go. Welcome, test user. And now if I go into Power Controller, you can see test user has access to Power Controller because they are of a significant enough security level. If I go into configuration and user manager, you'll see, oh, I know my errors aren't beautiful yet, but a big white screen that says this section requires admin level access. This is an operator. This is not an administrator, so test user does not have access to go into the user manager. So it is user level access. That means when you create users, you will be able to specify the role, and that role will control what they have access to within NEMS Linux. So it's working, folks. Thank you so much for your support. Please do throw some in the tip jar. I'm doing another week of this, taking another week off work. NEMS Developer Lockdown, as you know, is just me working full-time and beyond that. So I'm putting in 15, 20-hour days some days. But I'm going to take the weekend off, and then we're back to it next week. And we've got another 5 days to get this thing done and get the Raspberry Pi release done for you. So I'm going to have that image out. For those of you who are enterprise users and want to have access to the OVAs and the other virtual appliance versions of NEMS Linux, just note, always what I do is I bring it out for the Soho users first. It's on the Raspberry Pi. It's free. They can't complain as much about things not working. So they become the beta testers, if you will. So we're going to take about, usually take a week or two, maybe, it depends on if we encounter any issues or if everything looks really good. But when the Raspberry Pi version comes out, then that becomes our kind of test period. Make sure everything, massage, get the kinks worked out, and then I release the Enterprise Edition because I want that to be as rock solid for you as possible. So just a heads up that that will be coming very soon after the Raspberry Pi release. Thank you, everybody. I will post more updates, and thank you for following along. Thank you again for not only your support ongoing with your patronage, but also just for adding some extra to that tip jar, because that makes a world of difference, especially right now during the lockdown. Thanks, everybody. See you. Have a good weekend.